Please don't forget subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified of new daily videos.
When Marvin and I decided to pack up our lives and move to the city, I was beyond excited. A fresh start, a new job for me, and for him, a chance to really focus on his art. We found this apartment in an old building, brick facade crumbling just enough to be charming, not decaying. It had high ceilings, creaky wooden floors, and a huge window overlooking a tree-lined street. It felt like home, almost immediately. But the quiet hum of a new beginning began to fray at the edges, slowly. It started about a month after we moved in. Late at night, after Marvin was deeply asleep, I'd hear it. A faint, almost musical whisper, just beyond the range of understanding. It sounded like a choir of distant sighs, or the wind playing tricks in the pipes. I told myself it was just the old building settling, the whispers of previous tenants carried on the currents of the ventilation system. Marvin, bless his optimistic heart, just laughed and said I was letting the stress of unpacking get to me. Then the sounds became specific. One evening, as I was drifting off, I heard a lullaby. It was faint, distorted like a broken music box playing through a thick wall, but I recognized it. It was the lullaby my grandmother used to sing to me. A tune I hadn't thought about in decades, certainly one I'd never hummed to Marvin. I sat bolt upright, heart thumping. Marvin was snoring softly beside me. I tried to convince myself it was a coincidence, a trick of the ear. The next week, Marvin was out working on a commission in his studio, which was across town. I was home alone, trying to write. From the living room, I heard a distinct, rhythmic tapping, like fingernails against glass. I went to investigate, but found nothing. Later, as I was making dinner, a familiar, tuneless humming started, coming from Marvin's studio room down the hall. It was Marvin's humming tune, the one he always did when he was focused or agitated. But he wasn't home. I froze, my hand hovering over the cutting board. My skin crawled. I called his cell. He answered, sounding tired. "Hey, still at the studio, probably another hour. Why?" he asked. I stammered, "No, nothing, just checking in." I didn't tell him about the humming. He wouldn't believe me. I started feeling watched. Not in a creepy stalker way, but an omnipresent, chilling awareness. Like there was always someone or something, just beyond my peripheral vision, just on the other side of a closed door. I'd catch myself holding my breath, straining to hear. I found an old, faded baby rattle tucked behind a book on our bookshelf, a rattle I was certain we'd donated years ago. Marvin just shrugged. "Must have gotten mixed in with your stuff, Tatum. You packed most of it, remember." One Tuesday, Marvin was out for his regular basketball game. I was curled up on the couch, watching a documentary, trying to ignore the prickle of unease that had become my constant companion. Suddenly, I heard it, clear as day. "Tatum!" It was Marvin's voice coming from the bedroom. My breath hitched. He had to be home early. I knew he had his own key, but why wouldn't he just come out? "Marvin!" I called out tentatively, my voice barely a whisper. Silence. Then again from the bedroom, closer this time, a soft, almost seductive, "Tatum, come here." My blood ran cold. The way he said my name, it wasn't right. It was Marvin's voice, but it was too smooth, too perfect. It lacked his usual gruffness, his playful sarcasm. It felt like a recording, but alive. I didn't move. I gripped the remote, my knuckles white. The voice called again, more insistent, a little impatient now. "Tatum, I'm waiting." I scrambled to my feet, heart hammering. I knew with a horrifying certainty that Marvin wasn't in that bedroom. He was on a basketball court 3 miles away. I backed away slowly, tiptoeing towards the kitchen, my escape route. The voice from the bedroom shifted, became a low, guttural growl that still formed Marvin's words. "Where are you, Tatum?" It dragged out my name, twisting it into something ugly. I could feel the vibrations in the floorboards. Whatever it was moving. I fumbled for my phone, my fingers slick with sweat. I ducked into the pantry, pulling the door shut, barely breathing. Through the thin wood, I heard heavy, deliberate footsteps approaching the kitchen. They stopped right outside the pantry. Then a soft, sickening thump against the door. A whisper right at my ear, though the door was between us. "Found you." I stifled a scream. My phone, in my shaking hand, slipped and clattered to the floor. The footsteps moved away, back towards the bedroom. I heard a muffled, frantic thumping, like something heavy being thrown against a wall, then silence. I stayed in the pantry for what felt like hours. A knife I'd grabbed blindly from a drawer clutched against my chest, tears silently streaming down my face. Marvin found me there when he came home, nearly an hour later. He was confused, then frustrated. Tatum, what the hell are you doing? Are you okay? He tried to hold me, but I recoiled. I tried to explain, stumbling over my words, the terror still fresh and raw. He sighed, rubbing his temples. Look, honey, I know moving has been stressful, but you're really starting to scare me. There's nothing here. No one broke in. You probably just fell asleep and had a nightmare. He checked the bedroom. Nothing amiss, except a picture frame knocked off the nightstand, which he blamed on the old building's vibrations. He was so tired, so rational, so normal. But as he cleaned up the broken glass from the picture frame, humming that familiar tune, I watched him. His movements, his expressions, the way his eyes crinkled when he smiled. They were all Marvin's. But then, wasn't that what it had been practicing? The perfect imitation. And when he looked at me, really looked at me, there was a flicker, a depthlessness behind his eyes that I hadn't noticed before, or maybe I was just looking too hard. It wasn't Marvin's voice I feared anymore. It was what it had learned, and what it might have replaced. I still live here. I still live with Marvin. But every night when he sleeps, I listen. And I wonder if it's still in the walls, or if it's already found a new, more permanent place to reside. Check your partner's eyes, really look into them. You might be surprised what you don't recognize.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button to like it. And please do subscribe to support the channel.